Andrew's Doers, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents for the 3000th episode of Andrew Does Everything special, Threethousanderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Threethousanderella. Threethousanderella had 13 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia. All 13 of them made Threethousanderella do all the chores. 30,000 a wench. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia all together. And then one day, the King of Trimilluplingham messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the King of Trimilluplingham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Trimillupling. But Threethousanderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. Hannah said, No way, Tasha, you're wrong. He's going to marry me. Rena said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. The rest said, All three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Threethousanderella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Trimillupling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Threethousanderella what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Threethousanderella? In which Threethousanderella responds, I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Trimillupling. Threethousanderella's fairy godmother says, I can help with a bit of magic, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Threethousanderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Threethousanderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, Threethousanderella has 3,000 pumpkins and 6,000 mice. Threethousanderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 3,000 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and the 6,000 mice into horses, and Threethousanderella's red clothes into a gown and crown. Threethousanderella says, I've never seen such a Trimilluplintastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbs into the coach. Threethousanderella's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't, but have fun, Threethousanderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. Threethousanderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the King of Trimilluplingham said, Good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Trimillupling, was wondering who will marry. Isn't that right, son? Prince Trimillupling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, Threethousanderella arrived at the ball just in time. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilly, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalia, and Dahlia say, He's walking towards me! All together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Threethousanderella. Prince Trimillupling then asks, May I have this dance? And 3000 responds, I would be delighted. And Prince Trimillupling and 3000 danced happily together. But later, 3000 checks her clock. It's almost midnight! So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both of her glass slippers. Prince Trimillupling was so worried that he might never see 3000 again. The King of Trimilluplingham comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 3000 And so, Prince Trimillupling and his father began their journey all around Trimilluplingham to find 3000 and brought the 2 glass slippers with them. By the time they arrived, Prince Trimillupling knocked on the door of the house where 3000 and her 13 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters there lived. But instead of 3000 they find Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, Emmy, Tilla, Hannah, Ophelia, Uniqua, Sasha, Alana, Natalie, and Dahlia. Prince Trimillupling and the King of Trimilluplingham then say, Ladies, we have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers? Tasha is first, but her feet are too big. Hannah is next, but her feet are too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of the feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Trimillupling and the King of Trimilluplingham noticed 3000 singing. The glass slippers fit! And so, 3000 Prince Trimillupling and the King of Trimilluplingham lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope this was a fun story for the 3000th episode of our show, of our channel special. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at andrewdoeseverything.com. And then I have one more thing to say. Take care, Andrew's Doers. Bye.